Hey, what's going on? Yes, we are here. Yeah, for my podcast. And I got a very special guest. I got three people from the NFB organization, Stockton chapter. And yeah, let's introduce ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Myra I just said your name. To my left.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
All right. Next.
Hello.
You just chime in, just jump in whenever.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Alvin. This is Joga Singh, and I'm the president of the San Joaquin chapter of National Federation of the Blind, which is you call earlier NFB.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
And
you
I'm
are.
Jennifer
thank you.
Gass, the vice president.
Hey, Jen.
Hey,
How's Mexico?
it was good. We had a good time down there. We got
Besides all the
germs I brought home. No, we
Yeah.
helped a lot of people. We had some fun too, so it was good.
that's cool. Yes, she is the vice president at the moment, and I am the secretary.
You are.
Yeah, I am. And
A few more months.
excuse me. Anyway, you know what? Let's get into the NFB Stockton chapter. I brought you guys in because I feel like uh, it's a good way to promote the organization and our location here in Stockton, and and other than that, it's like I'm part of the chapter as well, and I see some things that we're doing that that are positive and turning into in the proper direction, I believe. And
We want the community behind us.
yeah,
We're not
definitely.
just for the blind; we're for the sighted too. And we want everyone to know we're here and what we're about.
And I brought the right people because you guys are the official, the main uh, official board, right? Officers
Mhm.
here.
That is true,
and-
including you.
Including
yeah,
you.
yeah.
We got the
and,
president, vice president,
mhm.
treasurer, and the secretary.
Secretary,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Forget the others. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
we need
I'm
them. We need
kidding.
every single member.
Yeah. Myra's the treasurer. She handles all the money. So
I
watch
do.
out.
Yeah.
I'm good at it.
Jogi, Mr. Singh.
Yes, sir.
Um, you are the president, um, and soon to be another year of becoming our president. I want to backtrack a little bit because um, I remember when Yogi contacted me to, you know, kind of join, I guess, or partake in the NFB meetings. This was like a couple years back, and knowing me, I'm like I don't really jump into like certain type of stuff like if I like if I know about it, if I have proper information or whatever. It's like, and so I was like a little hesitant because he told me to like, hey, I'm gonna soon take over this Stockton chapter, possibly becoming a president, and yeah, just come in one of these days. And I was like, I don't know, like like I'll see what's up. And couple months later, I did come in and join and partake in the one of the meetings, and uh, the reason why I eventually joined the chapter was because I felt that Yogi, I commend him in this way because like he's very oh, excuse me, he's very positive, and he was looking for a change within the chapter, and he wanted to you know uh, change things up basically, and knowing him prior to that, like at the center, the blind center, I've gotten to know him over the years, and I saw something. I was like, all right, like this guy, you know, he may, you know, make a difference within the chapter. And so he took over, um, and I'm glad because you kept that energy. You worked hard as a president for this chapter, and you're doing your best. I'm pretty sure, um, and so like I wanted to uh, touch in touch on the NFB as far as like the beginnings. A brief history about that, Yogi. Like,
Okay, thank you, Alvin, for all the words that you said about me. I don't think I deserve those kind of praise words. But thank you
okay,
again.
no,
Yeah, I was taken as a president in November 2017, but I wanted to get you a little bit brief history about the NFB. Actually, it was the ball was rolling already in early 30s or mid 20s when, there was an organization already there. It's called AFB, American Federation of the Blind, I believe. And it's so they have a little bit of ideological difference between other people. So they established this one more the democratic procedure they adopt. Every organization does, but this one originated technically in 1940, and 7 states were initial that time the primary member, the founder member.
and this is nationwide, right?
Yeah, it is nationwide, but only 7 states were joined that time, the basic founder member, and California amongst them too. There were Missouri and other people also were there, so only 7 states in the beginning. So I'm not getting into the details, so I'm going to give you just briefing about it.
No problem.
So, but in 1970, 71, then California joined as full affiliates. Then they decided to, give them as a statewide
Affiliate
representation
status.
or affiliation. So they California joined in 1971 as a affiliate.
Okay.
So then our chapter, the Stockton, is basically situated the office in it, but is spread to all county, like San Joaquin County chapter. And it was started in 2001. And quite a few members are still with this chapter. There was founder member of the chapter at that time, like David Vigil, Alan Clegg, and a couple of others as well. But unfortunately, this year, our founder member and former president, Ken Volante, he died. He passed away June 2019 this year. So what happened actually when Ken was not feeling well, I'm talking about 2017, the year 2017. And some members are already here today, Jennifer and Mayra, and they were actually looking, Jennifer specifically saying, yeah, Jogi, why not you going to take it? They call me Jogi. I just want to clarify for all other people, those who not know my name
That's
as
his
nickname
nickname.
Jogi.
Short
But my
for
full
Joga.
name is, my full name is Joga Singh, but I'm from India. I'll talk about that later. But so what the long story short is, they were looking a person to take over this chapter, and they approached me, and I said, okay. I mean, first of all, I was not really made a mind of about to join that. But then I said, if I had to go, then I have to learn about NFB more. Though I was a member of NFB in India before, but not served on like highly posts like this, like a president or vice president. I was more towards a sports organization that we found in our state. I was secretary of that. So yeah, and so Jennifer and other people, they approached me and they quite insisting me like, so why not you joining us? Why not you going to take over as a responsibility? And yes, Jennifer. And so
You did it.
ultimately, I say, okay, then now I'm prepared. So then they elected me on 2017 October. And since that, and I'm really thankful to all of my chapter member, they still have a same faith in me. And every time
Yes.
I elected or re-elected by acclamation. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because um, because I believe in your your vision as far as where you want to your take where you want to take the chapter, and and prior to me joining the chapter, like I thought about like, okay, why should I join? Uh, like, okay, what's their purpose?
Mm-hmm.
What's their mission? And and the one thing that stuck out to me is that, like, I wanted to see if we could do something within our community versus because the chapter or all the chapters nationwide, we have this state convention, right? Or both national and
Mm-hmm.
state convention that a lot of people go to every year. And that's good. I'm not knocking that, but like my thing was um, like what can we do to spread awareness and knowledge within the community versus like meeting every month and having a little
Just
powwow.
social.
Yeah,
Yeah.
socialize. Like we have to get inside the community to spread that awareness and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that the public knows about us, not just blind people and then going off to this convention thing. we
Right.
want we want we want to be able to make an impact in some shape or form, right? Some way or form like that, so
Right, because the National Federation of the Blind is the biggest organized movement of the blind, and it's a civil rights organization for the blind, and advocacy is one of the big things they do. And we really wanted to bring that to the local level as far as, helping people to know their rights, to get help if they need help with special education, just anything we can do to reach out and strengthen each other, and any sighted people that have the same mission are
yeah.
always invited to stand alongside us. But we need to be known in the community in order to get that help and support and contacts for who we can help.
And we've done some things within the community. Recently we had the White Cane Day awareness day, right?
Mm-hmm.
um the, I believe that was a pretty successful
Yeah.
event. We've been doing the fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
We just had this past summer our second annual dinner and dance, right?
Yeah.
um another outreach we did was what was that, the RTD one?
Right.
Yeah.
That was part of Meet the Blind Month,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
the
Meet the
NFB
Blind
does
Month.
every October. And it
Yeah.
also helped us advertise our White Cane Awareness Walk.
And
We did National Night Out in August.
yeah
At
yeah,
the
that
Diamond
too.
Cove Center. And
Yeah,
wrote
and
people's names in Braille for them.
there you go. And
Yeah.
I think those are all good things that we're it's showing that we're moving in the right direction,
Mm-hmm.
to spread all that awareness. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we do something last year?
Well, we did the Louis Braille thing. Well, although that was at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the year, right?
At
We
in
and
January
we will
at the
be.
libraries.
I am pretty sure we'll probably be doing that again.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
good. Wasn't there something
We
right
did a
around
Barnes and
Christmas,
Noble
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fundraiser where
Oh,
we
right,
also
yeah.
shared information, and Myra read a Braille
There you
storybook
go.
at Braille
There
Story
you
Time
go.
there.
I
And
did.
Miguel did that also during the Louis Braille event in January.
Mhm.
And November 30th, we're going to hold an intro to Braille workshop that's free for blind people, their friends, families, and anybody who's interested in the public to come and
Mhm.
learn a little more about Braille and how they could, even read or write it as a sighted person or not,
All right.
Mm-hmm.
and be a resource to their families and friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, it's these are all positive things that we're trying to do within a community, and hopefully, we can do more, find ways to come up with certain things to yeah, spread
Right.
knowledge basically,
We
and be
yeah.
participate like with in our community.
We've definitely been advocating a lot with the local transit company to try to make their apps and website more accessible, and we've had some success with that so far. And that's turning into a good partnership
Are you
with
talking about
RTD.
yeah,
Hmm.
the Van Gogh
The Van
situation?
Gogh
Yeah.
situation. And we did write a letter in support of them seeking a grant for more funding to improve and expand their program. So we're watchful still, but we're, believe it's a positive relationship. They've been really receptive to our feedback.
Yeah.
So that's part of the advocacy that we can provide here, as well as an organized movement, instead of just an individual here and there complaining about a problem. We can
It's true.
bring some
We have a bigger
strength to
voice
it.
together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's several local agencies where we've been trying to make improvements, and I believe we're seeing an impact.
Good stuff. You know what? What I've been hearing over the years, like, how do we encourage others to either join our organization or any other organization? Like, how do we encourage the young people, or just other young blind people,
Right.
in general?
I know we, each personally are responsible for, keeping our eyes and ears out in our community. And I know that we all as officers, especially, take pride in doing that, right? Like whether it's referring someone, even if it's to another group, like, if they need an outlet, go play beat ball with the Stockton Stingrays or go join the Sisters of the White Cane. We all work together
Yeah.
to strengthen people and provide them with resources that will meet their needs.
What?
And we all learn from each other.
Definitely. Well, here's the thing.
We need that
I'm gonna
support.
break it down.
Break it down.
I'm gonna break it down like this. Like, I think sometimes I don't roundabout way. How should I say? To put it bluntly, like I think sometimes there are other blind people out there that just kind of like,
They're not motivated.
well, not motivated and
Sheltered.
They're basically a hermit.
Yeah.
Like, is that what is that like to you guys? Like, is that, yeah, like you said, Jennifer?
I mean, we want to
shelter?
break down the isolation. I mean,
Isolation?
it's
What
just
is that?
natural. A lot of families are protective or overprotective, and people don't get the opportunity to know what they're capable of. And one of the things that NFB really tries to stress is not having those low expectations, because they create barriers between the blind and our dreams. So if you can get yourself around other blind people with more experience, just other positive role models or mentors, or just other people going through the same things you do day to day, then, if you expose them to that, expose them to experiences, do it in a group first, or, maybe go to a convention, hear some of the speeches, you'll start absorbing that and figure out you can do it too.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well,
I mean, it goes up, it's about the influences that you have. And I think that starts even when you're young, and how your personality develops. And some people,
Mhm.
and this isn't just a blind person thing, but some people are just more introverted in general. But I think if you are like that, but you also don't have people who encourage you to do things, then you're
Right.
really just going to be, it's very secluded. You're going to exclude yourself from a lot of things that could have a very positive influence in your life.
'Cause you get confidence by doing things. Unless you
do.
try them, you can't gain
And
that.
honestly, I've found that being around blind people who can do more than what I can encourages me to do more than what I already do.
Right.
So I think that's for anybody. When you see somebody who has no problem doing things, it gives you the
hope.
Hope,
you
yeah,
can do
that
it.
you know,
Yeah.
well, why can't I know I can. It's just a matter of knowing that somebody else can. It's like, how did you do that? And
Right. I mean,
Is it
sometimes it seems like it'll never happen and nobody can do everything, but just having that constant positive feedback that other people in your same situation are doing it
yep.
helps a lot.
so? In essence, is it the attitude? Uh, like
No, it's
about the person, like indi- I mean, it's an individual thing,
Well, I
but
think
is
sometimes
it?
it is your attitude, and I
Yeah.
think
And there are
and
Their
people that
outlook,
are naturally, like you said, introverted
yeah,
or
and I will say this
shy.
much
And
too.
I used to be.
There are people, and this is going to be more about blind people who
Mhm.
have who formed an idea or an opinion about what the National Federation of the Blind is and does
Right.
without ever having gone to meetings or conventions or anything like that. They've formed their own opinions about it, and I think a lot of the time it's that they may be a little extreme and incorrect,
Right.
because they may have met somebody who was, to use a word that I've heard a lot of them use, militant.
Militant groupthink
Yes,
cult.
yeah, and
Yes.
um, you know, the NFB will do for you what you let it, and it, again, it's about who you are as a person. If you are the type that takes something and runs with it, then you will be a little militant. I mean, that's
Right.
because you will see and you will see what it can do, and you will want to do, and you will just be out there. But if you just want to have something positive, want to see positivity around, and want to see improvements for blind people, then
Mhm.
that's all it can be for you.
Right.
It's
It
just
can be
really
just
about,
a resource. There's
exactly.
lots of information.
Exactly.
There's lots of good resources.
But I've seen people who judge, our organizations because of one or two individuals that they've
Right.
come across, and they've never gone to a meeting to judge for themselves what it really is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and I want to add on to that. Each and every case is different
Yes.
because some people they just lack of awareness. They don't know where
Right.
to go and what to get. Some situations, as Mayra said and rightly said, I mean, it's sometimes needs to be pushed, but it's they should look which direction they've been pushed and right
Yeah.
and positive
And the-
direction.
Where
The
can they
state
look?
affiliate.
Where can they look? Where can they get the information? Where? Like,
Okay.
NFB.org.
Yeah.
I mean-
Thank you,
No.
Jennifer.
But the state,
Specifically,
the
yes.
state affiliate and the national affiliate have been making a lot of changes, with their policies and everything to make sure there's more diversity, inclusiveness for, other schools of thought, everything. It has evolved since the very beginning, but that's the national website where you can get all kinds of
Right.
info and
Yeah.
resources.
And
There's what was useful to me was they have blind parents of sighted children, sighted parents of blind children resources that would help a lot. Like you're saying, parents could read these things right off the bat to make sure they advocate that their kids are getting these experiences and the proper training in school, where they won't be sheltered, isolated, incapable of walking out the door by themselves at an earlier age. So there's lots of good resources there. That's what I'm
Yeah.
alluding to.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
Right.
There's quite also, if you wanted to know step by step, also right from the some people wanted to write top to bottom, and some people wanted to just go step by step from bottom to top. If you wanted to hear more about our chapter, then you guys know, but like for other people,
Well,
I can tell.
We meet
The
on the second Saturday.
Second Saturday
Yep.
Yeah.
at Mountain Mike's, 1000 West Robin Hood Drive, Stockton, 95207 is the zip code. And from 10:30 to 12:30, and sometimes it's a little over because it depends on the issues of the businesses, and if it's something really important we
Now
need
they're
to
not
discuss.
Or the $50 raffle.
Yeah.
But they will come,
50-50
Jennifer, for
raffle,
pizza.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
And
And our Facebook page is facebook.com/blind of SJC.
and our email is nfb.ca.sj@gmail.com, and the phone number is that directly you can approach to me, 209-203-2106. And if you wanted to go to the state, and then the website is nfbcal.org.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we'll have all that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
in the
For people who
description, the
not
links,
who
so-
listen
Make sure
first
you go
time,
to
yeah.
nfbcal.org
Org.
and
Yeah.
not nfbc.org because I did that on accident and it was nude funny black chicks.
Oh my!
And it took a long time to download. So
I didn't know about
it's
that.
nfbcal.org.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I spell each and every
Yes.
letter.
Wait,
so-
let me write this down. Nude, funny. No.
Okay.
Oh man.
So keep it
Well-
keep it real.
Yeah. Yeah, cause like when I lost my sight, it was right around like 14 years old, and prior to that, I still had vision and everything, and it was an adjustment period, and yeah, cause I think like I didn't start knowing about the Blind Center, Community Center for the Blind in Stockton locally. I think within a couple years from losing my sight, I believe, and whether it's that organization or NFB, I think a lot of times because every case is different. Like what Yogi was saying earlier, that it's sometimes economic, family upbringing. Like for me personally, when I first lost my sight, I didn't want my parents to control me.
Right.
I had this rebellious attitude.
well,
about-
you were a
You too?
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because I hear a lot of stories like,
Right.
oh, so and so, you see him, he or she once in a while
Never leaves the house.
never leaves the house, like,
Yeah.
sheltered by the parents,
Hmm.
and that's the honest truth. Actually, that happens a lot in our community.
And you don't
It
want people to
does.
know so they don't treat you differently. Like,
Yeah.
did you try to act like it wasn't happening? And,
And
yeah.
I mean, some of those people are, I know them personally, and then others I don't know as well. But I only can speak for myself.
Yeah.
I had to kind of like fight for my like my freedom almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want to be
Independence.
treated a certain way, or put in a corner by myself.
Right.
Like no, fuck that. Yeah, that's why I brought up attitude earlier.
Mhm.
It's sometimes it's the individual and your outlook and
Right.
what you want for yourself, because no, don't look at me, poor me. Let's not do that. Let's try to get away from that mindset. We can do certain things, well, a lot of things.
Focus on what you can do and how to get it done.
Yeah,
It might be a different way, but
right.
there's a way to do it.
And there are a lot of successful blind people. I mean, all of us here, we dealt with a lot of obstacles and challenges
Mm-hmm.
in our lives. Some of us were employed at one point in time, or volunteered, or got a good education, and so on and so on. And yeah, I think we have to be resilient and encourage. Well, not only encourage, but I guess like take no for an answer kind of thing. I guess.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
Right. Don't let it blow you down that
Yeah.
one thing doesn't go right.
No,
right?
that's what I call is awareness. It's
And
sometimes
just
most of the
educate people
occasion,
one day at a time.
parents or your well-wishers are not aware, because that's maybe awkward situation for them as well, because they was not prepared for
Parents
that.
are
They don't know what to
parents are
do, or
parents.
they
They
get
want to
Parents are
protect.
parents also.
Parents
right?
want to
Agree with
protect their
Mayra.
children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parents and
Yeah.
parents, and they want it to be really feel protective
Yeah.
about that. But as Myra said
You
earlier,
you know what? Oh, let me stop
Yeah.
you there real quick, Yogi.
no problem.
With the parent thing,
Yeah.
is it a bad thing, like for to shelter their child like that, someone with a disability or an impairment?
I think
Um,
parents need to look at who their child is, and if they have the ability to be independent, to learn and to do things on their own, I think parents need to give that child that chance.
yeah, I would
Educate
hardly-
themselves.
Because
Yeah.
I would agree with
you know
100%.
sometimes parents think that they're doing the best they can by protecting their children, that they're keeping them safe, but they are honestly
No.
smothering them and keeping them from fulfilling their full potential.
Mhm.
You can't
I
butter a
agree.
piece of toast because you might cut yourself and bleed to death.
Oh, and sometimes society
That was
played a role
board
too
president.
to the parents too, and give them more, thinking more protectively, because sometimes your neighbor said, "Oh yeah, take care, please. Do take care extra a little bit more." That sometimes create the problems
Well,
for
it's
the
a-
obstacles for
It's a
the.
cultural
Yeah,
thing.
it
too.
is. It is.
Yeah.
A lot of us dealt with I think it's our culture.
Oh,
as
definitely.
well.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens.
And it
And
happens.
you said that, Elvin, because we belong to the part Asia most of the time. The culture. I mean, not say nothing bad about it, but they're very
Hispanic, too.
emotional,
Oh, yes.
very
Yes.
protective
I know, I
about
had that.
their children. And especially when they have special child like a blind person or somebody,
Oh, yeah,
that they
big time.
more attention.
Big time.
But I don't blame them, but unintentionally they are
Hindering.
Yes.
hindering or
Yeah, exactly.
underestimate the skills
And
of,
it is not
you know,
not the parents'
yeah.
intention to do that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they honestly do think they
Right.
are doing what
But
is best for
It's
their
like
child.
mom and dad, you're going to pass away one day. Then what's going to happen to your kid?
Well, your
right?
sister will take care of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
right.
your brother.
That's why we
or-
have big families.
I know.
exactly.
Pass you along.
I have that experience when I was working in India, and there was two
Oh.
sister and brother. They were blind,
Mm-hmm.
and their father and mother they really take care of. And father drove them every day. I was working in the college, so they drove, by the father every time to the college, and they just one by one. And they were lecturer. They were professors, and they would not have skills. Like I was feeling bad about it, because I'm not saying because I had it, but I said, what they gonna do? Exactly what Myra and Jennifer are talking about. What you can do one day, because nobody's stable in this world, so everybody has to go one day, And I asked that question to my male colleague that time. And I say, hey, what you guys gonna do? And he was so mad at me for, I think I remember a week or 2 weeks. He didn't even talk to me very good.
Right.
I said, no, but this is fact. You have to
Give 'em a
really make
chance.
something for yourself that you learn. You should learn for yourself,
Right.
But as I said, but they're not intentional. Parents not intentionally.
Especially while you have
but
that
sometimes
safety
they
net
do
there is the best time to
kill
learn.
It is.
the skills of their children.
It's 50-50, I guess.
My
Yeah.
parents were in denial, so they grounded me because I wouldn't pass my driving test because
Oh
I was
my-
being insubordinate or whatever. No.
But Myra,
You don't get
Yes.
an allowance till you're 18 because you won't drive. Okay.
did you experience any of that growing up? When did you lose your sight?
Well, I lost my sight completely when I was 8, and my sister is not quite a year younger than I am. She's 11 months younger, and we were treated a little differently. She had a lot more freedom than I did, and it caused a lot of conflict obviously with my mom. I mean, I was a teenager once, when I started noticing the big differences in how we were treated, what was allowed and what wasn't from each of us. And yeah, I mean, I was definitely not given as much freedom as she was.
Could be frustrating.
Yes, it was. I know that when I decided to move out and move in with a roommate, my mom was very upset. But I think she didn't talk to me for about a month, but it wasn't anger. I think she was afraid, I think she
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
scared that I was on my own trying to do it without her and that she couldn't supervise everything that I did.
And all parents feel that to
Yeah,
some
and
degree,
you
no
know,
matter if their
and
child's
like I said, she
disabled.
didn't speak to me for a month, but she would send my sister to my apartment with food. Um,
Make sure you live.
yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
she
I'll
would
take
she
food
would
over
say,
there.
I
my
know.
sister would say, "Here, mom said to bring you this. She thinks you're not eating," and it's like, so she's a mom,
Is she taking a shower?
she's
Aw.
she's a mom, and so she worried, and I get that, but
Yeah.
it was time, and
Yeah, you have to
she,
break away,
It
right?
helped you break away.
yeah,
You
it
have to
Yeah.
did.
break away. Yeah.
But now she is thrilled, and
Seeing that.
she talks to her friends, and they always tell her, how could you let her be by herself, and mom tells them she can do it.
Oh man, I
She
hear
tells them
that
like she
all the
has,
time.
Oh
she'll tell
yeah.
her friends like she has no problem being
Right.
alone, doing everything for
Yeah,
herself on her
whisper.
own,
I
and
know.
it's
My husband said to this guy at his work, he told him his wife's blind. He's all, yeah, like by the fifth time he said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, and she really likes it if you call her a cripple too, by the way, if you meet her. And the guy kind of stops and goes, not really, huh?
yeah.
It's crazy.
So
Yeah.
you were able to break that barrier eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah.
yes.
But yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, we have to um, break through that eventually. How about you, Jen? Like, what when did you lose, or yeah, when
I
did you
mean,
lose your sight, and did you have to go through any challenges?
I was legally blind in high school, but I didn't know it. I figured blind people just see nothing. So I just thought I was somebody that my glasses didn't help anymore. And so I didn't get any help in school, but luckily I was a good student. I could kind of read the board, but not really. I could read my book still. So I got most of the way through it. I couldn't pass driver's ed because I couldn't pass the
Yeah.
vision test. I got my permit twice, and my parents let me drive on it to work because they
Oh
were in
my.
denial. But so they didn't really figure it out till after I was out of high school. After I was 18, my eyesight got significantly worse.
Right.
And like now I can see shadows, some light and some shadows. But I then all of a sudden when they finally realized when I started going to the blind center, then all of a sudden they're trying to grab my arm and help me and everything. And it's like, okay.
Did they treat you any different? Like after
Yeah,
that?
they started to, but then when they said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot," I'm like, "Good," because I'm just like any other person.
Mhm.
I like it if my friends stop to show me their old house they used to live at, and then they go, "Oh, wait a minute." No, I said that's okay. Then I think you're just thinking of me like anybody else.
Mhm.
I don't take it as an insult if they
Right.
forget, unless they're guiding me. No,
No,
But
yeah, then.
nobody knows their left from their right. We just know that not to trust that.
Oh, I
but-
know.
What about you, Mr. Singh? When
Uh,
did you lose your sight? What did you go through? Some stuff with your parents, challenges with them.
I born blind, and I think I feel blessed with that because if you certain age and
See what
maybe
I'm saying? He's Mr. Positive.
It's simple.
Yeah,
Mr. Wonderful.
Thank you. Uh, thank you. But I born blind. I feel blessed because if I blame maybe the country I belongs to when I came from India. India is a country of villages. Like they have most population in the village. Villages are they are now in the cities more expanded, but I belong to a village, and unfortunately my mom only got primary education, not much to go to the university or college or school, high school. My dad, he was working that time to abroad, to get earning for the family, and he was working there. And so basically I was raised by my mom, and sometime I went to my mom's family, like my uncles, aunties. But that's why I feel blessed, because there is challenges that if I could face in certain age and I'd be blind in certain age, I think it's more challenging at that time, because they know right from the word, like when I was 6 months old or 8 months old,
Right.
I was blind.
Yeah.
So you got
because,
training right
yeah,
away.
you were
right?
born into it, so that's what you knew, and that's all you knew, and adjusted a certain way.
Yeah, I think they were prepared. My parents were
Mm-hmm.
prepared for that. It take maybe hard time for them to prepare. I mean, because obviously emotions
No,
were there
definitely.
and everything. But
Yeah.
one I can share a very incident that encouraged them more, because there was, as Myra said, the parents are parents. No matter with the emotion, with caring with you. I remember then I was when I done my school, and that was in hostel, so I have very good facility over there, so everybody, the school was very good, so my parents were really not worried about it, because everything was taken by the government, and I was a good student, and I have to want to go to college. And my mom especially, and she said, oh, how you can manage, how you can travel, the same old question that you guys already discussed before. And I was trying to convince my mom. I said, Mom, I can do that. No worry, I can walk it. And yeah, bads and goods everywhere. But Mom, a lot of people are very good heart. They can help me if I need it, on the road or when I'm going to. But she was not convinced. And then came my uncle to help me out. And he told my mom, and hey, look, sister, let him go. Don't worry. If you're not satisfied, you can watch him and how he does and how he's gonna do.
If he's run over, it's
So
one
she
less
wa-
mouth to
yeah,
feed.
I mean, he was crossing the right street.
They
or-
run
Oh,
over by
that's
car.
terrible, Jennifer.
yeah,
Beep, beep.
yeah. Oh, that was quite a hard in
scooter.
Asia. You can go to India, you can see how. Yeah, but I made it, and I went to
Good.
by myself, and that convinced my mom. And I can tell you funny over here, when my mom and my parents and everybody's already been here before I came. And I came and I thought, okay, I don't want it to lose momentum. I just wanted to go to the mobility training now. I went to Joni, the instructor.
Just to get
she started
oriented
training,
here.
yeah, orientation
Yeah.
and mobility.
Yeah.
And my mom still looking at me at the door. Oh, you came back? And I said, Joni, should we change the
keeps
route?
hoping.
Should we change the route? And Joni told me the same thing what Mayra telling earlier. No, moms are moms, they always looking at you.
You know.
But my mom always waiting me at the door. Oh, you come back? And
That's
I
a
say,
mom.
Mom, we are in America now. So all facility here, and people are very conscious about if blind people walking on the street. Most of them, if you
Yeah.
comparatively India, the-
We all had Joni training and we're still alive.
yeah,
We are.
And, thanks to Joni.
Yes,
And,
thanks to Joni.
Yes, of course. And that was my
Definitely.
journey was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah, speaking of Joni, she's still a mobility trainer at the Blind Center.
Mm-hmm.
And doing a very fantastic job.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Right.
Myra's
Definitely.
a current customer.
I
Current
am.
customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next thing I want to bring up, because Myra, you had a situation recently, right? You want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. And I won't. I mean, I won't mention all of it, but
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, I was walking home. I wasn't alone. I was with someone sighted, and a teenage kid, was bothering us, following and just pestering and making things very, very, very awkward. And I'm sure we've all experienced this, people always just kind of following
Right.
for their own reasons, but this
Are they trying to help? or-
yes.
Yeah.
This kid was being very obviously weird, and kept asking the same sort of questions. How old are you guys?
Where do
And
you live?
Where do you live?
Do you need
Okay.
help?
He was
Yeah.
he was psyching himself up because when I finally told him to go away, I just told him, hey, you said you need to catch a bus. Go get your bus. We don't need help. We're fine. Just go. He grabbed my phone from my pocket and took off running. And it was in my own neighborhood, which is not a bad neighborhood at all. But this honestly has taught me a lot. It's freaked me out, but it's taught me a lot. It's always good to be cautious. It's good not to have things that are beacons for other people that they may want to just snatch from you. And I'm trying to start to feel safe in my neighborhood again. So far, it's a work in progress.
It's a work in
You
progress.
made some adjustments.
I do, and but you know, we were talking about this before we started recording, and we've all experienced very uncomfortable situations with people. Sometimes it's because they are honestly trying to help, but they do it in a sort of an aggressive way where they grab you,
Intrusive,
a very
yeah.
intrusive
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
That's the right word for it.
And I think this is something important that we should talk about is that, if you ever see a blind person and you, out of the kindness of your heart, want to help, ask them if they need your help. If they tell you that they're fine, that they don't need the help, believe them and just let them do what they need to do, because you wouldn't just go out of your way and grab a sighted person and start leading them across the street, or start shoving them and thinking that you know where they need to go. So don't assume that a blind person likes you doing that either. 'Cause
Yeah, getting
Yeah.
we
grabbed
don't.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is.
My Braille instructor told me before he was crossing a street, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, someone started hitting him and body blocking him. They didn't say a
Oh.
word, and I guess they were trying to put him back inside the crosswalk because he had stepped out a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
But how freaky is that, right?
It is. It's very unsettling, and it's creepy when somebody is touching you and you have no idea who they are. You
Right.
should, just really use common sense.
Yeah.
Right,
Keep
you
in
grabbed
mind.
Don't
me. Are you
touch
going to put
someone that you
chloroform
don't
over my
know.
mouth,
Yeah,
or are you going to
exactly.
take my purse, or are you really helping me?
Yeah,
Right?
nobody likes to be
Yeah.
touched, by someone that they don't know, and off on the streets. And if we can't see you, it's more frightening. It really is, and it's just
Just if you see a blind person out walking, assume that they've had training. They
Yeah.
know
Yes,
what they're doing.
We're
exactly.
capable.
if we're
If
out
they
there
stop,
by ourselves.
If you introduce yourself, we know where you are to ask for help. Say hi or whatever. Thank you. Hi. Okay. Now I could say, I'm sorry. Am I on, Stockton Boulevard?
Yeah,
Or I could ask you a
whatever.
question.
Yeah.
Unless
Or,
you're,
yeah.
well,
But-
I would just say, unless you're that one blind person that has really bad training, then yeah, go
Right.
to that person.
If you see me, walking straight down the middle of the street,
Yeah.
you think I'm on
I mean,
drugs
think
too.
about it.
No.
This blind person got out there
Yeah.
somehow. So most likely they have a goal, they have an agenda, and if they're if they're out, out
And a
and
honk is
about,
not
they're-
helpful.
Oh, that is
we
the
don't
most
know if it's a
distracting
hello,
thing.
if it's an about to
Yes.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, be mindful.
if I'm walking and I don't know how to get back where I'm supposed to be, and I'm crossing the street, I'll usually stop and kind of throw my arms in there and look toward the traffic, if somebody wants to give me a pointer.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll just keep listening to the flow of traffic, and I'll make it there eventually.
Yeah.
But say, do you know you're in the street? Yes, obviously.
Yes.
I stepped down into it. But
It's never a good thing. It's
they
never
go,
a good
to
idea
your right,
to.
to your
it's
right. Are you talking to me or somebody else?
I know. It's never a
Yeah.
good idea to honk at us, especially when we are crossing the street, or to
Yes.
yell at us when we are crossing the street. That is extremely distracting.
Disorienting.
Yeah, and we have the goal to get to the other to the corner, and if we have somebody yelling or
Why did the blind
honking or
person
whatever,
cross
we
the
can
street?
easily get sidetracked and veer into the parallel
Right.
traffic, and it can be a very, very, very bad situation. So
You're listening.
I know you're trying to
focusing.
help when you
Yeah.
do that, but it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's all part of spreading awareness.
Just look
is.
at the cane. Give us
Yeah.
a berth. Don't treat us differently. Don't stop when you're not supposed to stop. Don't go when you're not supposed to go. Don't give us the right of way automatically when we're waiting for you to go so we
Yeah,
can go
exactly.
at our turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering those facts and figures, that's why NFB does celebrate Meet the Blind Month every October.
And White Cane
Yes.
Awareness.
And White Cane
Mhm.
Awareness
There
Day.
you go. Nice segue.
Worldwide
Yeah.
being celebrated.
Most of
in
us
Good job,
every
Mr.
Are
Singh.
out there.
not
with
for
our
me, but that's
training.
we need to tell people, as Mayra and Jennifer were describing. If you tell them if you make a connection and tell them every year, like a month of October, month is a lot, to tell them to go to the different parts of your county or city or wherever you work in.
Right.
So tell them, okay, organize kind of seminars, kind of any outreach like that. So that will tell them. It takes time, but that will tell them, okay, what we need from them.
The white cane means I can't see you, so please don't play chicken with me.
Yeah,
Just to
it's
test
really-
my
Of course, I
vision.
mean-
Not everyone with a cane is 100% blind, but they need it or they wouldn't have it.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Angel, where are we at?
50 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. Let's
And it's 3:10 right now.
okay. Let's take a little break.
Because my ride's coming at
You
3:30.
come in,
Oh,
right
at 3:30.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Any last couple things?
Just take everybody's last comments. And,
Last comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And okay.
Okay. Well, there.
Hold on.
Do you want to tell them about our Christmas party?
Yep, that's what I was actually gonna.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was
If
about
we have
to
a
start
couple
talking about.
minutes,
Man,
that would be
forgot
a
about that.
that would be a nice.
Yeah,
casual,
no, that's
fun
actually what I was.
environment to
That
meet
is
us.
exactly what I was gonna start saying.
Good.
Literally, like, we need a
So we'll let Mayra do that. Yeah.
Okay. Angel, we can go back and roll.
Okay.
All right. Last thing before we head out.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Happy
Oh, yes,
Thanksgiving.
definitely. Happy
holidays
Thanksgiving.
to everyone out there, and I thank my guests here from the NFB Stockton chapter, Mayra Rivera, Joga Singh, Jennifer Gass. I mean, thank you guys for coming in. For
Thank
doing
you,
this.
Alvin.
And before we leave, I want to touch on this, and Mayra, you'll explain more what's going on. As far as doing more for the community, like we mentioned earlier, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we need to do more things like this. I believe in this this work and this commitment to our community and
Giving back.
giving back.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go, giving back. And Mayra in one of our meetings brought up this adopt a family thing. And Mayra, let's go into that. Like, what is that all about?
Yeah, so I heard about this from a chapter in Southern California, the San Fernando Valley chapter. I attended a couple of their Christmas meetings where they called it Adopt a Family. It's like a little project where they find a family who's got at least one blind child, and the whole chapter comes together, has the family come to their meeting, and they buy gifts for the children and or the parents, and just kind of
Treat them to lunch.
yeah, just treat them to lunch, dinner, whatever time it is that you have your
Uh-huh.
meetings, and you just you spend time with this family, during your meeting. You let them know what the NFB is about, but it's a way to introduce the NFB to other people. And I mean, we're doing this for a family who we've chosen a family. It's a father and son who actually both have visual impairments.
And we officially have already. Right?
We have, yes, we have officially adopted this family. Well, maybe not officially, but our type of officially.
Yeah.
And so we will, invite them to our meeting in December, and
Where is it gonna be at?
it will be at Tio Pepe's.
135 East Lindsay Street.
Thank
Yes.
you. I didn't know the address.
go.
From 11 to 2
Right.
11 to
p.m.
2, yes. And we are very excited. It's something that I'd wanted to do for the last couple of years. It hadn't really worked out, but this year we're finally
Yes.
we're finally doing it, and
Yes.
I'm very, very excited. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of our members are too. Honestly, it's a very good feeling to
They
be
do.
able to help the community
Mm-hmm.
and to help a family that definitely needs it. And so
Credit
I'm
to
very
you for
excited.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Credit
thank
to
you.
So again,
for
anybody
that.
that's interested in meeting us, checking out our chapter, helping with this cause is welcome to join us.
Yep,
For
December
that Christmas
14th.
meeting,
December
December 14th,
14th from 11 to 2 at Tio Pepe's. And can you repeat the address?
135 East Lindsay Street,
There we go.
Stockton.
Yep.
Right on.
Come and join us.
Yes, and I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, Yogi. Thank you for sharing that story. Thank you guys for sharing all you guys' story. I mean,
Um,
Absolutely.
last but not least, that I wanted to tell everybody, it was great challenge when I took over, and then we had only 9 or 10 members. Now we had 32 members of our chapter.
Yeah.
And
We have
we are
expanded.
I'm thankful to everybody who supported me. And just quickly winding up my comments to telling that please, especially for the members, that please go to the conventions, because you're gonna learn a lot. We had callable account that you can account on the separate, that other than the social security, you can save your money for any of your target project, like you want to buy the house, or you wanted to build up something that won't be touched by the social security, but you can make I think maximum 15,000 to 100,000 per year, right?
Yeah,
Minimum 15,000 to maximum 100,000 per year. And also they had a seminar on this convention for the blind parents of sighted children. So a lot of things that you guys can. We also passed a Marrakesh Treaty this year to for the books, audiobooks that reached more easily available to the blind people. And there's a lot of to say, but cannot complete in one podcast.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to invite me another day, and I'm going
know,
to tell
I
you
know.
more about it.
I know.
But
Yes.
I do urge people to, come to our chapter, seeing us, and if they feel to join us, they're going to take one meeting as, as
And like us on
like us on
Facebook.
the
Yeah,
Facebook.
like-
Facebook.com/blind of
And
SJC.
Also, don't hesitate to donate, right?
Of course, we need money, because we
We
say
We are a
Yeah.
nonprofit,
We
tax
are a
deductible
nonprofit. So all this is,
organization.
yeah.
And we
going
sending
to a great
people
cause.
for
It does.
certain type of grants for certain things.
We help with
buying
adaptive
equipment,
technology
e.g.
to help with
Send
equipment.
We
people
have
to the
some
conventions.
Yeah, we do. So
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Alvin,
Yeah,
to
thank you, Alvin.
calling us, all of us, and being with you for that good podcast.
No,
Yeah.
thank you guys. This is much needed. Like this is what I wanted to promote. The NFB Stockton chapter and what we're trying to do within the community. And once again, thank you guys. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Merry Christmas.
And Thanksgiving. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
You can live the life
Life
you
you
want.
want. Blindness is not
what
holds you
holds you
back.
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you.